demands cried and voiced by the people. My instructions to the government stressed that to provide an opportunity to the masses to express their views and demands. I then followed the attempts by some to jump on the wagon and monger slogans, and I regret the innocent casualties and victims on both the side of citizens and police personnel. The government committed to my instructions, and this was clear in the way the police handled demonstrations. They took the initiative to defend them at the beginning of demonstrations, respecting the right of peaceful demonstration, so long as it is within the parameters of the law. Before these demonstrations turned into acts of riot, threatening the public order and impairing the daily lives of the Egyptian citizens. These demonstrations and what we witnessed earlier of rallies staged over the past few years wouldn't have taken place without the huge spaces and big room of freedom of expression, freedom of press, and many other forms of freedom that was granted to the Egyptian people by the reforms Egypt is embracing and the unparalleled joining of the forces of society. In my capacity as the President of the Republic and by virtue of all the powers conferred to me by the Constitution as a judge and arbitrator, I always stressed, and I will continue to reiterate, that sovereignty will be to the people, and I will always adhere to the right of to exercising the right of freedom and expression, so long as it is within the parameters of law and Constitution. There is a fine line separating freedom from chaos, and while I take the side of citizens' freedom to express their views, I also similarly adhere to defending Egypt's stability and security, and not to steer it into any threats that may jeopardize public safety, public order, whose repercussions on the current and the future of Egypt is unpredictable. Egypt is the biggest country in the region in terms of the population, geographical location, and heavyweight. It is a state of institutions governed by the Constitution and the rule of law, and we should be cautious and aware of the many examples around us which drove people to chaos and mayhem, where they gained no democracy or stability. My fellow citizens, these demonstrations came to express the aspirations, lawful aspirations for more democracy and speed actions to combat unemployment, raising the standard of living, and fighting poverty and addressing corruption. I am fully aware of these lawful aspirations of the Egyptian people, and I am also aware of the degree of their suffering, to which I'm always attached and working day after day. However, the problems facing us and the goals sought by us cannot be achieved through violence nor chaos. They can only be achieved by national dialogue and conscious, concerted, genuine efforts. The youth of Egypt is a dear wealth, and Egypt looks at them to live up and urge them to steer away from those who incite chaos and looting public public and private property, arson, and knocking down what we have been building. I have a firm belief and conviction that we will continue our political, economical, and social reforms for a free and democratic Egyptian society, embracing the modern principles and opening to the world. I have taken the side, and we will always be taking the side of the poor people of Egypt, convinced that economy is too dangerous to be left to economists alone. I have always been keen on directing the government's policies towards economical reforms to be expedited and speeded up to lift the suffering of the people. Our plan to combat unemployment and provide more educational services, healthcare, housing, and many other services to the youth and citizens will remain conditional on our efforts to maintain Egypt secure, stable, a homeland of a civilized people that can reach into future or leave it to go down the drain. We will go above the arson and looting, which may indicate further plots to shake the foundation of stability of Egypt. I call on our youth and call on each and every Egyptian citizen, man and woman, to work for the public interest of the people and to stand up for the earnings of their country, not by setting ablaze or assaulting private and public property. Not by this we can achieve the aspirations of Egypt and its people. Yet these aspirations can be achieved for a better future by way of awareness, dialogue, and genuine efforts for the public good. My fellow citizens, I address you today not only as the President of the Republic, but also as an Egyptian citizen, which my faith put me under the responsibility of this country, exhausted my life for the country in times of war and peace. We have weathered hard times and surmounted these obstacles when we stood up for them, one people, one nation, and when we were aware of our direction and our course and set our goals right. The course to reform which we have embraced, has no point of return. We will continue steadily by new steps, emphasizing our respect to the rule of law, new steps towards more democracy, more freedom to citizens, new steps to reduce unemployment, raise the standard of living, develop services, new steps to stand by the side of the poor and people of low income. Our options and our goals will define the shape of our future, and we have no other alternative to achieve them but to embrace genuine work, consciousness, and struggle. We will continue to maintain what we have earned and embark on this, cautious of the future of the nation. The incidents that took place today and the past few days have left the majority of the Egyptian people fearing for Egypt and its future, cautious of further mayhem, chaos, and destruction. I, shouldering my first responsibility to maintain the homeland security and the citizens' safety, cannot tolerate, cannot allow this fear to grip our people, and therefore I wouldn't allow this to hold our future and our faith. I have requested the government to step down today, and I will designate a new government as of tomorrow to shoulder new duties and to account for the priorities of the upcoming era. And I state once again that I will not be lax or tolerant. I will take all the steps to maintain the safety and security of all the Egyptians. I will safeguard the safety of Egypt and the aspirations of our people. It is the duty and responsibility for which I had taken the oath to safeguard and to maintain. May God save Egypt, its people, and may guide our steps all, and may peace be upon you all.